Hello and welcome to another episode of New Gameplay Today. I'm your host Jeff Cork, joined today by Kimberly Wallace.
Hey.
Hi. Leo Vader.
Hey guys.
Hi. What are we looking at here, Kim?
I'm here, so we must be looking at an RPG, right?
Well, also the RPG guys.
We are looking at Trails of Cold Steel 3, which is part of the Legend of Heroes series. This is obviously the Cold Steel arc, which before this there was a popular one called Trails in the Sky, and that characters from that will appear in this. So this has been like a long-running series by Nihon Falcom, and they are great with battle systems, and I think with what they've done cool with the Cold Steel series is they've introduced a lot of social elements to make it a little more like Persona. I feel like I've been saying that a lot lately with RPGs, but I feel like Persona kind of made a lot of companies realize that people really like to interact with their characters and build relationships, and they're your party member. Yes, so
I will say we're putting this up at the same time as Kim's extensive preview on the site, and that has some no commentary gameplay in it, if that's
additional videos.
So you can find that in the
but
description.
For now, we're about probably like an hour into the game. This is one of the first main areas. Reen was in the first two games as the main character. He's again the main character, but he's got glasses this time because he is a professor and no longer a student.
He's getting so smart.
Yes, right? So that's what he has to do.
He's going to lose his hair next.
He ends up graduating from Thor's military academy. So the Trails of Cold Steel games, or Trails games in general, have like a lot of politics going into them, like Suikoden, and I would say even like Fire Emblem, with he had to help prevent in the previous two games a civil war that was breaking out, and so he's kind of like known as this hero and all-star student, and they kind of pluck him and we're like, hey, we have a new branch of the academy opening and we want you to be a professor. Well, it turns out that the new branch is like for misfits and outcasts, and he gets his class and it's only 3 members at the start. I assume there will be more later, but these are his 3 party members, which she was in actually the last game, so she's back again.
Back on the trail.
Back. This is her little, her weapon.
The latest version of the
Clom Soleus.
She's an AI, as you haven't guessed.
Suffice to say.
And Reen was the gentleman's name.
Yes, Reen. And this is Yuna and then Kurt.
Does this take place on Earth?
Yeah.
It does?
Yeah. Right now they're in like a simulation to practice for school, so
They look normal outside of this.
the areas look like a real place. I guess I could see how that would look like futuristic in the background, or like they weren't on Earth.
Are they his students?
Yeah.
But she's an AI.
Yeah, but
And she's going to
student.
school?
Yeah.
What?
It's
Machine learning,
it's the
Cork.
whole, okay.
She must be very good.
It's the whole like let's see if we can teach a robot some humanity type of thing. I feel like that's the storyline going on, which I know we've seen in other RPGs quite a bit.
Did they teach humanity in this school?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to ask.
Yeah, they're teaching. Well, they're trying to
Can
get
I
her.
major in that?
One of the scenes we can show later is she's trying to figure out like a club to join and trying to figure out how she would be, what would be a good fit for her, because
Robotics.
she's never had to think about anything.
Well, you've got
That's actually, she does it completely opposite.
graduating class of 3. What kind of club could there be?
Well, I mean, there's a big school with a bunch of other students in different classes.
Oh, okay.
So I should say this is the new class 7.
Right.
So Reen was a part of the previous one. And so a lot of the game is reunions with like past cast members, or even people who are in previous Trails games, which is cool, in the whole series.
Right.
So.
So this is captured when, like, some people from the dev team came to the office?
Yes. NIS America visit us, and they let me play 5 hours of the game.
All right.
It was intense, and it let me get a good feel for like the tone and vibe that kind of they're going for.
Holy cow.
We were working on. There's a high speed mode that lets you just go through things really fast, as you can see. So we were showing that off. Like that's like when you're in a dungeon and you're like, I don't want to deal with this BS, and I just want to get to this
BS.
No, like I don't want to deal with battles. I want to get to that treasure chest over there because I missed it the first time around. You know, just a way to like be able to go through it really quickly.
Okay.
But here's like the first battle. sequence, which a lot of people, if you haven't played, or I was going to say people who have played will remember, it is a turn-based battle system. Falcom's known for their action combat, but they actually do a really good turn-based system, which combines a lot of different elements. So, like, character placement matters. You can link with other characters. And so if you build your character links up, they'll like step in front of you for attacks, which are really important. In this game, they are adding something called Brave Order, which lets you use points to unlock like special bonuses in battles. So if you use like 2 Brave points, you can take less damage, which I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I realized how essential it is for boss battles later on, because like if you don't use the Brave Order, it's fine for random encounters, you'll be fine, but if you don't use them for the boss battles, you'll be screwed. So there's just a lot of things. You want to break enemies, and that means that you damage them easier, obviously, as it goes on. That's me practicing my not so great, but yeah, it's, you know, you see the turn order there, and also what's cool with the turn order is that as you play, different bonuses will be locked in. So like during the turns, maybe something like you heal, whoever lands on that turn will heal completely, but it also works the same for the enemy. So I mean, like it adds some unpredictability to things, and these are crafts that you can do, and then there's your magic attacks. So crafts are like special attacks, and then you have your regular attacks, which you have to keep doing your regular attacks to get your CP back to do your special attacks. So you kind of have to balance everything out and decide what you want to focus on.
But we're back in normal speed mode now.
Yeah, sorry about that. I should have mentioned that we were like, oh, you want to see the high speed mode? We added that for this because they put it in like the remasters, which, by the way, if you haven't played the first 2, they just put them on PS4 this past year, the first and second game. So if you're like, oh, I really want to play before I go in the third, I totally recommend doing that. There's a lot to follow with the story. There is, if you want to exit, like a glossary that will keep you up to speed that you can go to in the menu. But, you know, that's always not as great as actually playing the games and knowing, because I feel like there's a lot with the cast in the first 2 games and kind of makes this fun because you have all those like reunions. So, but that is an option if you want to like play, because the game actually just was announced that it's being delayed to October 22nd, I believe now. It was originally like a month. It was originally going to be like end of September. So there is time for you to play the other ones if you want. They are long games, but they're fun.
Like how long? Like ridiculously long, or just?
I was checking, like I think I spent for the first game like 60 or 70 hours, because I just actually pushed my save over from, if you did play on Vita and PS3, which is where the first 2 originally came out on, you can with the remaster like move your save over, which is nice. And so I was doing a New Game Plus on it, and I was like, wow, I played this last, and I think it was like 2014 the first time came out. God, that feels so long ago. So I was like, oh gosh, I gotta like refresh myself a bit. But yeah, it's just fun. Like what Falcom does well is that with these is that there's this classic feel to these games, but they also know that like people value their time. So like if you find that you don't want to grind and you like, so say you get to a boss and you're like, this boss is kicking my ass. You can just, if you die, there's an option to like weaken the enemies.
Okay.
So like if you're like, I don't want to sit here and grind like 10 level, whatever, you know, so you get to avoid some of that. You can change the difficulty also at any time.
Does it reduce what you get as reward for beating the bosses or anything?
I didn't notice anything like that. It's more just like if you want to not beat your head against the wall.
Yeah, I don't want to do that ever.
So you can also change who you're controlling.
All right. Is there a benefit or?
So for some dungeons, actually changing to certain characters will help you get past obstacles, because they all have their own weapons and stuff that can like break through barriers.
Yeah.
Oh, breath.
So, yeah, that's your crest that lets you quartz rather. Sorry, crest. I'm coming off of playing Fire Emblem, so my mind's like
too many games.
Yeah, too many games. So fine. Only one of me. So yeah, this is they're cool little contraptions that you put your magic attacks on, and you can open them after you get a certain amount of Yeah, a certain amount of the currency that lets you break into that. I can't remember the name off the top of my head right now.
And what do they do?
So you can customize them. So that's your magic attacks. So you got to pick up certain, like you can buy them. You'll find them in dungeons. And then you open different slots to put them into. So you have some ability to kind of customize what your characters do. So her attack is, she has these things called gun breakers, which are pretty cool actually. So she can go into a gunner stance, or I think it's called stunner, maybe the other one. I'll show it here. Striker. So if, as I said, gunner mode's better for hitting like multiple enemies from range, and then strikers when you want to get up close and really like hit one target. So you can swap between them.
It looks like it's just an upside down gun, right? Being honest.
I mean, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, anybody could do this with a gun if they just saw it
with the
upside
click
down.
of a button.
Yeah.
You can just change, which is cool to kind of. Then that's only for that character.
Okay.
But just adds something different to battles, something else to consider into your strategy with her.
And are these party members you'll be switching out, or are they more essential to the story?
I don't know. From what I played, they were pretty much in my party, but the other entries that you played, you do get a lot of people to put in your party as it goes on, so you do swap things around quite a bit. So I would think they would do something very similar to that. So it won't just be, it probably will be a lot of more people. I think, Reen's probably got to prove himself and see that he's got the chops to lead a class, and I think maybe once he does that, some other people will be like, I want to join this class too.
Yeah,
I bet
this Reen guy.
He's gonna find that friendship is the real power. I suspect. Before this is all over.
I hope so.
Let's go.
We all know a Reen. You know?
He's too perfect. The kid Kurt who's in his party, he seems like a mini Reen, honestly, to me. Has a lot of similar tendencies, so I could see them kind of butting heads. And
Yeah. His hair is more bluish, though.
That's true. That's an important character difference.
And
Let's go.
also, the girl, Yuna, will remind. Is Juna or Yuna? I can't.
Sure.
She's a little sassy, and she's a little much like, I'm too good for this at first, so you have to kind of prove to her. She was in like the police academy beforehand, so she's got some clout. She doesn't like being put in this class with like two other classmates.
She was in the police academy already?
Yeah.
Is this like community college or something?
Yeah,
then?
kind of like.
Okay.
I guess that is a good apt comparison.
I'm just trying to play, because you got like a 14-year-old AI in the same classroom as someone who's a member of the police academy, or
Yeah.
was old
I mean,
enough to
these
do
kids
that.
get into this stuff real early in these video games, like 15 and they're an
These video
adult,
games.
basically.
Yeah.
Let's jump ahead a little bit and show off the social elements.
Sure.
All right, we're in a bakery.
Yes. So with
And
the
this
game,
is the real world.
Yes.
Okay.
We're not in the training simulation anymore. So basically, you attend a school and you have free time and you have bonding points, and so you can choose who you want to hang out with. So it's a way to get to know your students better. And then also it helps with your like linked attacks in battle, because if you get to know them, obviously they are willing to put their life on the line more for you, jump in front of that attack, do a follow-up attack. So it's beneficial on and off the battlefield, and you kind of get to know the characters a little bit better. So this is Reen obviously talking with Kurt a little bit, and they are playing chess. But to talk more about it, the world also, you get to, it's not just the school, like there's a bunch of shops around the dormitory that you can visit. So there's like a game store, which I thought was board game store, which is kind of cool. But Kurt apparently has some admirers, so they have found him and tracked him down.
They're time travelers, apparently.
Yeah, right? Look at those.
We came right from
threads.
colonial Williamsburg. Looks like Kurt knows these 3 girls named Girl.
Well, Reen doesn't know their names, so that's why you see it as a girl.
Ah, I see.
But yeah, he's so popular, apparently. So he's like, Oh, now they realize that they recognize Rain. I told you he's kind of known as a hero.
Oh, because his glasses are off.
Yep, exactly. The glasses are off.
Wait a second.
Oh, they're in love.
Yep. So what does that do? Does this a fun moment?
Yeah, like I said, it's a fun moment.
Okay.
It's like as you go bond with the students more, it's like kind of like Persona with the social links. You'll see more of their backstories and kind of get to learn more about them. And then, like I said, it helps you in battle too.
Yeah.
So it's worth doing.
Is that how you react to hanging out with people, Cork? What was that for? What did that do?
Why did we have to see two of us in this cutscene?
I told you they're very similar, aren't they?
I'm just talking about like we see them in there, and then they're also like they're superimposed over themselves.
You've never
talking.
seen this shot before,
I
Cork?
have, and it's still as perplexing as ever.
Classic cinema technique.
Yeah. Interesting. So do you have choices here?
See, your bond will strengthen, and then you
Yeah.
get to kind of see it go up.
So the activities, do you have choices, or is it just like I want to spend time with Kurt? So now, because of that, our relationship increased. Like,
And we'll just see that specific story advance a bit.
Yeah, you only have so many bonding points. So you have to decide what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
So like here, I'm going to move to this field to try to see if I can talk to other people. But there's also like little side quests you can grab around the world. One thing that especially in the Trails series and Falcom does well is really building out the world. So like there's a bunch of like real like conversations you can find and character stories that are kind of like behind the scenes that the NPCs aren't like signposts. Like if you keep talking to them every time, they don't say the same thing. Like you'll come back and you'll be like, oh, that's that story that I heard of them saying before. Now it's going here, or like that funny joke, it's brought up again. So it feels like the world actually changes a little bit each time you go through things. So yeah, do we want to look at maybe we can show off a mech battle?
Yeah, sounds good.
From the last game, they introduced mechs, and that is obviously coming back again.
I don't know why we didn't talk about this immediately. It seems like this is the game, right?
Sydney, your upper body shake, lower your hips.
So yeah, instead, you're not just doing the typical like turn-based battles. You also have mech battles that will happen. So here they're teaching the kids how to use these mechs, because I think that's pretty important that you know to operate one of those before you...
Yeah, it's not like a car.
That you can just get behind whenever.
Exactly.
Oh, I think they're just getting ready.
Yeah, getting psyched up.
You have to if you're going to operate one of those, right? There you go.
The oddly paced montage.
You like this music?
Love it. It's definitely getting in a mech kind of music.
Gets me kind of in the mood to get in a mech.
She's like, I might be good at this. I don't know.
Technical aptitude.
She, driving a police car.
I don't know if it's really applicable, but
Well,
let her have it.
let her have it.
Yep.
There you go. They're gonna do a mock battle.
So,
By the way, this is 5 hours in now to this footage.
Yes.
so do they get inside of the mech?
Oh, they are. They're going.
I'm always curious of like how it works. If it's a like mind link thing, or
Right.
are they working sticks?
Yes.
Riding on the back of it.
Are they making walking motions
Look,
with
they
their
made
legs?
her guns big enough on the mech, so
Mm.
I guess the mech uses similar guns.
That's nice.
So
Streamlined.
they're getting in.
Yep.
Mech battles, which have been interesting. You have your special attacks, obviously, and your regular ones, but you very much should defend at the right times, so you can't just like get through it with spamming attack. Here you go.
You have to maintain like a heat level or anything like that.
So also, yeah, you can target different parts of the body. So like also the no heat level, but you can target like the arms, the chest, the head, and so some will put them off balance more than others and be better to use. So like here I tried that and I don't think that didn't work how I wanted it to.
How many bravery points do you think you've accumulated, Cork?
Jeez, all told?
Yeah.
2 maybe.
That's not bad.
Yeah. I had to stand in front of a bunch of people and talk. It was like 1 right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's figuring out. And that's like I said, you want to defend sometimes because it will be. Woo! See? Guarded that.
Nice.
My turn.
Do you think this is a good game for people who are disappointed that the Final Fantasy VII remake is going to be real time?
Well, and
More
that
of a
is
modern turn-based
that's
thing.
good. Yeah, if you are somebody, like I said, they do a great job with the turn-based system, and I'm always somebody who says I love turn-based battles still, but I also like to play action, obviously. But there's something just very, especially if they're strategic in a way where I have to think out my turns. There are turn-based battle systems that are done poorly where it's just like spam, attack or whatever. But
Right.
this one I like in particular because sometimes if you just like don't think about your placement or what's coming, you can get your butt kicked. So for me, anyways, I find the battles like really intense at times. Like even when I said I tried this one boss battle in here, and it just, I was not expecting an early boss battle to kind of like kick my butt like that. Because I was like, oh, it's an early boss battle. Like I don't have to really, be on and think about stuff. And then I was like, oh yeah, I do. Because you got to use, like I said, the brave points, the placement. You never want your team in like the same area. You want to space them out because otherwise like they can get hit, but you need them close enough together where if they need to heal each other, they can. There's a lot that goes into the thoughts of where you want to place them. Like sometimes too, you want them to target a specific character, so you'll put him like right in front and then the others like in back of the enemy. There's a lot of, it's just fun to be able to kind of, I like to think things through because I never feel like I'm great in the moment.
Sure.
But
I think, people forget turn-based combat can still be really tense. Like Darkest Dungeon did an amazing job at modern turn-based combat.
See, that's like I was able to, so you get the link attack for a follow-up because I targeted a weak point on him.
And you're able to upgrade your mech and get new equipment for it?
Yes, so you're able to. See, I got finisher here.
Oh no, it's going to be gross.
Whoa.
Oh, the guy in there's okay.
That was good.
I like that, actually. I'm not mad. You beat me. I'm actually laughing in here.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Once again, are we done?
I think it's a
Before you
good-
start wrapping up.
I was just going to say that I don't feel like we can top that was good.
That was good.
I feel like that was good
It
for an
sums it all
ending.
up.
So yeah, we are. I think that's a good look at the game. Like I said, if you really want something kind of more on the classic side, but also not antiquated. And kind of like I said, the systems are all fun to learn, and you also have the social elements going, and you get to also I like the exploration of this, like the areas are all cool.
High speed mode and those kind of considerations seem very smart.
Exactly. So
Yeah, cool. Once again, Kim's preview is on the site. It's got a bunch more gameplay we didn't show here, and that's linked in the description below.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Kim.
thank you.
Thank you, Leo.
Of course.
And thanks for watching, everybody. Shut up and let me listen to the game. Oh, pardon me. I was just brainstorming a really good comment. Subscribe to Game Informer's YouTube for new episodes of new gameplay today every single week. We are proud of them, and we have fun making them. Thanks!